Hi, Taurus. Hopefully you saw your May reading that I put up on the YouTube channel. If you didn't, if you're used to seeing the readings here on IG, then go over to the YouTube channel and see that Taurus May reading that I did for you. And I also did readings for all of the fixed signs for May. No one else got a reading for May, really. But this is going to be your June proofread. Your first one. Taurus. Okay. If you're a sidereal Taurus or a Vedic Taurus, maybe this will provide you with some insight, but we're doing Taurus Sun, Moon, and Rising, or if you have significant planets in your second house, or if your sun is in your second house, okay? All right, let's see what's going on with Taurus here. I went home to Atlanta. Well, that's not really home. It's kind of like it's my old home. My mom's a Taurus, so I went for Mother's Day, anniversary, birthday, all of that in the same week. Okay, here we go, Taurus. Let's see what's going on with you. Oh, the World card. The World card is actually feeling, content with closing a chapter and getting ready to begin another. The World card is number 21. It does refer back to the Empress being number 3 as this reduces to a 3. And it also is saying how, like, you're not a victim anymore, no longer, right? Because it's an evolutionary process from the Hanged Man, which is number 12. So this is a mirror, right? You've sort of mirrored an experience and you come full circle. This is an opportunity to see how you've grown, how life has challenged you in some ways where you've overcome those challenges, right? You've been able to stay strong and been able to endure all of the things that time has delivered to you. The World card is talking about, now you can really really go after the things that you want to in life, because the things that used to hold you back or the things that used to make you feel like they were keeping you back no longer are, because they actually have taught you lessons. You know what I mean? The limitations have taught you lessons. The oppression has taught you lessons. The, just the uphill battles have taught you lessons. All of those things, right? This is also dealing with time. It's dealing with breaking something down, So you've been broken down and you've been built back up, or you're in the process of building, because this is Saturn. And Saturn is, cultivating something, building something, crossing a bridge of some sort. And also Saturn is exalted in Libra, so it might have to do with some relationships, some karmic relationships that you are attached to, have sort of evolved in the natural order of things, natural sequencing of things. And you're ready to kind of like identify with this new sense of being, new identity, a more mature identity, more seasoned identity, right? Your character has been strengthened. Yeah. Very much seeing an opportunity to live life in a different way. The world is connected to the earth, and the earth is the esoteric ruler of Sagittarius. So this might be talking about travel, and this is also talking about how you yourself have expanded, right? And it could be just like in your mind, your way of thinking has expanded. You have a fresh way of seeing things again, okay? And it's not easy. It wasn't easy. This is work that came from this. Okay, let's see what this came from work. Okay, Knight of Cups, right? You're able to be compassionate towards yourself and towards other people and towards the experience that life has handed you. Meaning that the things, the challenges, the out-of-the-box experiences, the things that no one really would ask for, and no one really writes the fairy tale script in this way. You know what I mean? There's usually some sort of like happy ending. And the Knight of Cups is like, you know what? Sometimes the endings aren't necessarily as happy as they look like in the fairy tales, but it's about discovering the happiness again, right? So it's going in and coming out, right? And being changed, feeling changed. So this is kind of like you feel like, I don't know, this is like very like missionary, very much like I am changed, right? Because of the experience that I've gone through. I have had to really, gain some perspective. That was part of my responsibility, was to gain the perspective so I could offer the compassion towards the experience, towards those people that were involved, so that I could move past something and that I could heal. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, if you're healing, then that means that you went through some shit. Whatever that is, right? It's people that you're attached to, just because Venus is exalted in Pisces. So it talks about all of the different types of relationships. If you are married, if you have an uncle, if you have a nephew, if you have a stepson, if you have a granddaughter, any of those things. If there were some things that happened that were outside of the box that, really shocked you in some kind of way, this is saying that you're healing from those things, and they're meant to kind of like bring you into another form of thinking and feeling. Life has expressed itself to you in many different ways and in many different forms here, right? Wow, look at that. And you're very thankful for all of the things that you have experienced here, because it's taught you strength, mental strength. It's also taught you a sense of, you feel freer in your mind too, when you're able to think freely and think openly, and speak from the heart. So you have to think. If you're speaking from the heart, then it means that you are thinking, head and heart, right? The difference between head and heart, the connection between head and heart, making the bridge connection. Right? Just because number 17, 8, strength card, courage, strength of will, strength of courage, strength of the mind. But it also is like using your mind and using your perspective as a bridge to make the connections that need to be made in order for you to get a greater understanding of what your purpose is, what it has been, what it is, and, really living in the moment. And sometimes we get kind of like very much outside of ourselves. And sometimes we have to stop being so outside of ourselves in the external and focus inward and rebalance, our energy. So this is saying, like, after all of those things that you've gone through with the Knight of Cups and the things that have happened in your life, and having to learn to like be able to cope emotionally with them and all of that. And then the World card, finally bringing you around and being like, man, there is still stuff to be thankful for. Even with all the struggle and all that stuff, man, I still can be like, wow, I'm grateful for how my life has evolved and has changed. And the Star card is offering you, giving you, showing you this opportunity, right? And you have to be an opportunist with, your own spirituality too. Right? Don't shy away from it. That's why it's kind of like being open and being naked. You know what I mean? Like, your spirit is always with you, so there's no reason to be running away from it. You know what I mean? And sometimes that spirituality is showing you something that you haven't seen before, and that gets uncomfortable because it's about growth and evolution, right? All right. All right, word. I like the cards you got here. So definitely you've seen something. You've seen the dark side of something, and you've seen the light side of something. And once you have seen the dark and the light side of something, you definitely have perspective. Like I said, we keep talking about that. But you also have hindsight, and that's 2020. And the Judgment card is number 20. So this is kind of like, oh, I can forgive certain things because I like have experienced life in such other dramatic ways that I realized that wasn't really as bad as I thought it was in the moment. Or like I can like forgive somebody, or I can like forgive, but I don't have to stay connected to it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have to receive it. You do have to receive it. So the Judgment card wants you to receive the karma. Get ready, you know, right? Because after that it's 21, right? So you have sort of like met it, you know. The Judgment card is meeting your match with the divine, right? It's kind of like understanding that sometimes, beloved, the divine has lessons that are going to be harsh sometimes. Number 20 reduces to a 2. You know what I mean? Some of life's lessons are harsh. Some of life's lessons are confusing, right? Sometimes you may not think that life is fair with the Judgment card being here. And that's only your ego talking, right? Oh, it's supposed to be this way, right? Other people have it that way. That's why the Judgment card in Pluto is a higher octane of Mars, which is also a ruler of Scorpio and Aries, right? So Scorpio is a very significant energy because I hit 1111 when I said that. The Four of Wands is here. Aries is also significant for some of you guys and gals and people out there. The Four of Wands is saying, like, this is you. This is completely you, Venus in Aries, having a full circle experience, you know? So sometimes you have to take the long route, you know, to get back to the place where you started. It's like, it's like jumping in the water and not knowing how to swim, but kind of like figuring it out along the way, and then finally making it and being like, okay, I can do this now, right? Because somebody could get swimming lessons and prepare to be able to dive, or somebody can just dive in. You know what I mean? So it's like you can never be too prepared. You can never be fully prepared with what life is going to hand you. You know what I mean? And even when you do prepare, there's still going to be an element of surprise. Aries, bam, right? And this is Venus being exalted from the first house that she owns, which is Taurus. So Taurus is like, well, I want to know what to expect. And the Four of Wands is like, you know what? You never know what to expect. This is a marriage card. It's a love card just because it's Venus being in Aries. So she's now having an experience that she's never had before. And sometimes now love might actually come into your life, or, you know, your love life is like changing in some kind of way. You know, the Four of Wands is like being at home with yourself, even, you know, getting comfortable with yourself again after like, you know, experiencing some deaths, experiencing some conflict and resolution, experiencing some, you know, very demanding situations, experiencing some people putting the pressure on you, or feeling the pressure on you from other people, right? Watching you perform and seeing how well you're doing things or handling things. You know, all of that, you know, has taught you a lot about yourself. And I feel like, you know, now you're ready and you're no longer afraid of some of the things that you may have been afraid of before or uncomfortable with before. Now the Protector is here, which is the Empress, and this is saying like, yeah, you are protected. It's lovely to have the Star and then have the Protector on the other side. Hello, I am living for that. Right, let me show you. Beautiful. Okay. I got for real in my head. Beautiful. That was very off key. The Protector. So this is the Empress. You know, this is saying growth, right? Just be patient with what life is giving you. Receive it well. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Comment on the video. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot there. It is Providence Tarot on YouTube. And yeah, my personal account is NYC Kendrick. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.